Protectionism versus protecting U.S. troops. There's a war over fire-resistant uniforms for American forces and new demands to buy American. Could troops be at risk? CNN investigates broken government. If an attack like this doesn't kill or maim U.S. servicemen and women, it could leave them with devastating burns. So it makes lots of sense for the U.S. troops to wear fire-resistant uniforms. There's agreement on that in Washington. But there's red-hot dispute right now over whether the fabric for those uniforms should come from an Austrian company or one made in the United States. Our Pentagon correspondent Chris Lawrence is following this broken government investigation for us. What's going on, Chris?
Well, Wolf, while the American troops are fighting in Afghanistan, there's a completely separate battle going on right here over who gets to make the uniforms that could save their lives.
An IED explodes. And the only thing protecting American troops from the blazing heat is a special fiber in their uniforms.
They have a 3 to 5 second delay before it's penetrated, which gives you time to put the fire out, reduce the burn to the soldiers.
But this fireproof rayon is not made in America and may have to be removed from American uniforms in a few years. There's a fight over who gets to make these uniforms, a job worth hundreds of millions of dollars to congressional districts and corporate boardrooms.
Some companies, like DuPont, for example, have already lost hundreds of jobs.
We travel to North Carolina State University, where the Army commissioned tests on fabrics from 24 companies.
Whether or not it ignites, if it ignites, how long it continues to burn, the afterflame.
The heat and flames simulate fires on the battlefield.
In ordinary clothing, a person would be burned in a fraction of a second.
And sensors record how much of that heat hits the mannequin's skin.
The fire's so intense you can feel it through the protective glass outside the chamber.
The Army says the best fabric was the one from Tenkata. Quote, "They have consistently exceeded our expectations. This has proven to be a valuable fabric and well received by our soldiers." Tenkata makes the uniforms in Georgia, but imports the fiber from Austria. For all kinds of environmental reasons, that special rayon is not made in America.
It breathes, it is fire resistant, and it is not matched by any American product.
So Congress passed a special waiver allowing the Pentagon to import outside materials for the uniforms. That waiver expires in a few years, and Congress is debating an amendment to extend it indefinitely. It was just defeated in the Senate, with one opponent calling the amendment
An exception that favors foreign suppliers of rayon over our own American companies.
Some lawmakers believe American companies will develop a similar fabric by the time the waiver runs out in 2013.
Their efforts are being made in Virginia and South Carolina to produce this product here domestically.
This will allow American industry to come in with a whole spectrum of ideas and alternate materials.
An American uniform with all American materials.
And I understand that from a business standpoint, but from the safety of our troops, if you don't have a superior product, it shouldn't be what our troops are. Our troops should have the very best.
Defeated in the House, now the amendment has to be worked out, or defeated in the Senate, I should say. Now the amendment has to be worked out in the House. If the waiver goes away, other companies have 3 years to come up with a uniform that's just as good. It's only a problem if they can't, because at that point, you would not be able to import any more of that rayon fiber. Wolf?
I think everybody agrees the troops deserve the best protection for these kinds of incidents, no matter what. All right, thanks very much. Let's hope they work this out. Chris Lawrence, good report.